Hello, Nar from Nar Sounds here. So one of the things that I wanted to find out was whether the Akai MPC 61 is a good keyboard to perform with. As I was watching the demos, I noticed that there's a load time every time you select a sound. So which made me question, would this be good if it was live? And would you survive a gig if that had to happen every time you selected a sound? Well, my other keyboards, I have this setup that I call session keys. The idea is you have all your bread and butter sounds ready to go and set up on the keyboard, and you can just turn them on and off on the fly. And on the Kronos, on the Montage, and on the Phantom, you either use scenes or mute groups. So there's something similar on the Akai MPC 61, and it's called track groups. Very similar to the mute group concept, and you're able to bunch together sounds. You can layer or split sounds and call them up by pressing one of these pads. So here I've set up a piano and strings as a layer, and if you highlight say the strings, I could use this as volume control. And then I can just turn that off and turn this on, and you can hear, I've switched to a new sound, but you can still hear the previous sound. And I guess that's the equivalent of the smooth sound transition that you get on all of the three keyboards that I mentioned, the Kronos, the Montage, and the Phantom, which have that functionality. And then I'll turn that off. I'll go to the DX7 Legacy EP. Now, by the way, these are all presets, so I haven't done any programming yet. So these are either plugins or key groups. So these are sort of the sound sources that you find on the Akai. And there are limitations as far as how many plugins you can bring in. So far, the setup that I've created has already maxed out the available memory. So it's just a matter of finding out which combination works. But I think it is a viable solution if you want to be performing with this on stage. So another setup that I did, if I press this one, I have a clav and brass split. So the clav and I've got a brass layer. And the great thing about this one as well is it's really easy to set the ranges of these sounds. And if you want to be more precise, for instance, this clav, I can just go press this one. It's called Learn Maximum, and then actually play the note. Now, all of the other workstations have this functionality. None of them allow you to set ranges this easily. It's very visual, and the screen is great. It's very sensitive. It's multi-gesture. So for instance, I have an organ sound right here, so I'll disable this. And if I press the edit button, it takes me, oops, I haven't selected it. Let's go back to sounds. So I just touch this for a couple of seconds, and I select the organ right there. And if I press the edit button right here, I have access to the drawbars. And I guess you can do this on the Kronos with the actual sliders and on the Phantom as well. But on screen, because the screen is multi-gesture, you can actually use multiple fingers and just adjust those drawbars. And this still is part of my setup. Let's go back to sounds. So that was my 8th pad. This one was my lead and pad split. So I've got a pad on the left hand and a lead sound here. And just like the other three workstations, you can filter out some of the MIDI messages. For instance, here I've got my sustain pedal on, but it's disabled here where the lead is. At the same time, this responds to the pitch bend, whereas this one doesn't. So most of the things that you can do on the other keyboards, the Kronos, the Montage, and the Phantom, can be done on the MPC Key as well. So what I'll be exploring in the next few weeks is actually programming new sounds and finding solutions to create setups for live gig playing, specifically for cover bands. So as I learn the keyboard, I'll be posting more demos in the future. Thanks for watching.